to Perpetua Podcast Unbroken. This is number 6, I think. Is it 5 or 6? 5. Number 5. I should know what number we're on. We're with Emily Godley. And Emily, thank you very much for coming down. I better tell a bit of a story about how we met. I met you a couple months ago when you came down. You're friends with Weightlifting, and you came down to train with us. And yeah, it just kind of blew us all the way with your lifting capabilities, really. And kind of showed us up a little bit in the strength piece that we did. But yeah, so we brought you down just because we talk a lot about living unbroken and what that means to us and what it means to some of our friends and how that kind of comes through in daily life. And you're an Olympic lifter and you've competed at a Commonwealth level for our country, which is pretty cool, if I'm honest. So yeah, I just wanted to talk to you and get an understanding from you about how competitions helped you, how Olympic lifting's helped you in life, and those kind of things.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sound good?
Yeah.
Awesome. Just a caveat, we are in a CrossFit gym, if you haven't listened to our podcast before. If you have, thank you very much for joining us again. And as a result, it's quite echoey. And we also have trains going overhead. So if you do hear any muffled sound due to trains or echo, apologies for that, but we'll try and keep ourselves talking to the mic and so you can hear us. So I guess the first thing, Emily, just talk about is how did you get into Olympic lifting? Because it's not something that we learn at school generally as us Brits, do we? It's kind of like an extracurricular activity you have to pick up on the side, I suppose.
Yeah, I kind of started weightlifting late on, really, compared to other sports and other athletes. I was about 19 and I was doing pole vault as a sport, and I did that to like a junior international level, so I was reasonable standard, and I had to do some conditioning work. I had to do like power cleans and power snatches just to build my upper body strength, basically increase my power output and do a bit extra training. And I had to have a specific weights coach for that, and I did that at Crystal Palace Sports Centre. And I kind of, as soon as I started doing weightlifting, I realised that I was actually alright at it, and maybe had a bit of talent for it. I did enjoy doing it as part of my training. And my weights coach, Keith Morgan, asked me to give weightlifting a go, and I was like, oh, I'm not sure, like, I'm enjoying pole vault.
So hang on, sorry to interrupt you, but you were the national, or you were competitive pole vaulter already, and then decided to take up weightlifting as kind of a bit of an additional thing as a result of being pretty naturally good at it. So it sounds like you're a pretty naturally gifted athlete anyway. Just go from one sport to the other with the same kind of level of...
I guess so. I've just always done sport, so
yeah.
I was that person at school that was probably in most of the sports teams. I just enjoyed everything.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it was good fun. And but yeah, so I did this weightlifting as part of my training for pole vault, and I realised that it was all right. And my coach said, "Can you do a competition for the club just to get some points?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Okay, like it's the least I can do." He's been coaching me and everything, so gave it a go, and I really, really enjoyed it. Awesome. So it led me to kind of think, oh, what do I want to do sports-wise? And then pole vault started to like go a bit downhill, and I stopped enjoying it, and started to do more and more weightlifting sessions. So I eventually just changed sports, and that was 8 years ago. And now I'm like still doing weightlifting, still progressing.
Yeah, still loving it.
Yeah, so it's all good.
Awesome. And you've been coaching others recently, and actually it's worth mentioning this, like at the beginning, you're very kindly coming down and giving your time to a number of our athletes and spending, is it next weekend?
Yeah,
next
24th.
weekend, 24th of
Yeah. September,
normally be down at Perpetua coaching us and helping out us with our Olympic lifting. But you've been doing that more recently, haven't you? Been going abroad and coaching.
Yeah, I'm getting into the coaching side of things as well. I coach some of the GB youth lifters on their training camps, and I've been doing a few workshops here and there, like next week. Recently went out to Cyprus with beaches and barbells and did some coaching every day out there, which was quite fun. So yeah, I'm enjoying doing it myself and also helping others develop like technique and things like that.
Awesome. And enjoying the coaching, it's like another string to the bow.
Yeah, I hope to like eventually get into that a bit more once my lifting career finishes. I can move over to that and help other people.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be awesome. I mean, speaking for myself, coaching's broadened my horizons regarding people and training and that side of things. It's actually interesting that it helped my training as well. I found that I could coach myself better a little bit, or I'd understand certain cues that I was getting given more from having to speak to and coach different types of athletes, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed anything like that in your training.
Yeah, I have. It makes you kind of think about technique a bit more. So you want to make sure you're giving the right information to people. It kind of makes you really focus on what's right and what's wrong. And another thing I think has helped is it's helped build my confidence level. So, you know, I believe in what I'm saying and what I'm saying to other people. So it's helping me kind of have that confidence in my own lifting as well when I get in the gym myself. So
nice.
Yeah, I think it can definitely only help my performance and, you know, just my all-round abilities and confidence. Really.
Yeah, cool. So in relation to, we've talked to a number of our guests about this in terms of this whole live unbroken that we talk about, which is, in our interpretation and our output of that, is kind of the prescription to a great life, or what things has lifting given you in life that you feel that, oh right, without lifting I wouldn't have done this, or actually it's been brilliant for me because of these reasons.
Again, back to the confidence thing. So I've always been quite a shy person and like found it difficult, you know, meeting new people and things like that. But weightlifting, it like throws you in the deep end, getting to know people and you know,
doing podcasts with random
and stuff like this. Like,
random
great.
CrossFit gyms.
Yeah, and I've done a few interviews and a few like films and videos and stuff, and I've done some like bit of public speaking as well. So
awesome.
if it wasn't for weightlifting, I probably wouldn't have done that. And you know, it's just given me the confidence and like ability to just do things that I wouldn't have done before. And I've also been able to like travel the world with weightlifting. I've been to countries I never thought I'd go to, like Kazakhstan and things like that. So I'm like, I'm just like
not your. No offence, Kazakhstan, if anyone from Kazakhstan's watching the tourist sport, but not your typical holiday kind of, especially for a Brit destination. So yeah, it's pretty cool to go to different countries and see different cultures, I guess, and experience it in different ways.
It really is.
Especially in competition or coaching.
Yeah, both. It's quite eye-opening, really. Like you get to see different cultures, the way people live. I mean, like India was a bit of a crazy one. Like it helps you. It kind of humbles you and you realise that you can't take things for granted and stuff like that. So
gives you perspective, I suppose, isn't it? Doing that kind of travelling and seeing different types of people.
Definitely.
It's quite. I suppose to a few athletes and coaches and people that travel through their sport, and that is one of the beautiful things about kind of competitive coaching, training, sport, whatever it is. That you get if you get to travel with part of that is just such a rewarding aspect of it, I suppose.
Yeah, it's an absolute bonus, really. Like you get to do what you love, and you get to see the world. Like, what more could you want, really?
Yeah, exactly. Home country?
Oh, that's biggie. Enjoyed America.
Yeah, I quite like America. I went this year for the games actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to the CrossFit Games and did a bit of travelling and stuff. But I do like a bit of America.
I do too.
Whereabouts in America? What state?
It was Houston.
Oh, nice.
In
Texas.
Texas, yeah. That was good. It was good fun. Such a massive country, isn't it? Like, but they're like the support in the crowd was great. That was for World Weightlifting Championships last year, and there was great support. Really, like sometimes we go to these places and there's not a lot of people that actually want to come and watch weightlifting. So the Americans got stuck in. And
they love any kind of competitive sport, don't they? They just thrive on it. And like wrestling, lifting, fight, like any kind of combat sports. And then obviously they got their big guns like the American football NFL season, which has just started. I'm quite a big fan of NFL, so I try not to bore you details of that. But yeah, they love the sport over there, which is, if you're a sporty person, I think that's what draws me into that culture so much, is just how much they love sport and how much they give to it. Like you go and sit in one of their stadiums or a small, we're just going to go to a small sports hall. And you're like, okay, cool. And you expect some school sports gym, you get like do PE, you know, the 90s in England, and then you rock up to this ridiculous facility. You're like, it's lovely.
Yeah,
it's just
it's great.
mind blowing.
It's a bit overwhelming, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the food is great, obviously.
Yeah.
Enjoyed that. Enjoyed having a nice bit of steak in Texas.
Yeah, got the
they
weight
looked
class.
after us.
Yeah, they know how to do food as well, which is, especially Texas, I suppose they do some pretty mean meat dishes, don't they? Just lots of meat, all of it. Awesome. So, was that last competition you competed in?
No, that was in November last year, so
Okay.
nearly almost a year ago.
Oh, cool. So, what was the last one you competed in?
I did the British Championships, that was in June.
Okay.
And I finished second in that one. I lost out to Rebecca Tyler, who actually ended up going to Rio,
Oh, wow.
the Olympics, and I was reserved for that.
Yeah.
I've been reserved at 2 Olympics now, so.
Oh, the next one's it's got to be the next one. Who do we have to talk to about this? I'll have a word.
I think
have
I
any
just
sway.
enjoyed my game, really.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
But so how much? What did you miss out on for that? Not to bring up bad memories, but just out of interest.
No, it's alright. It's all good. So we only got one place, like one qualified place for Rio, which was a bit disappointing. We were hoping for two.
And how does that decision get made?
So it's a case of qualifying as a team. You have to get points.
Right.
The points procedure starts 2 years out.
Okay.
So our first competition to try and get some points was in 2014.
Right.
So it does start a long way out.
Yeah.
It's quite difficult because for us as weightlifters in the UK, the Commonwealth Games is like a major competition for us. Like that is our chance to shine, and we usually have to really build up towards it. So we had Glasgow in 2014. Everyone was really focused on that, and then the World Championships came up like 2 or 3 months after that, and it was really hard after doing that competition to kind of refocus and then get training again and try and peak again for the World Championships. So we didn't perform as well as we'd hoped, but we did get a few points, and then it was a case of the next World Championships and then the European Championships this year, get more points. And so yeah, our points equated to one place for the women and one place for the men.
Right, and we.
Yeah, and then it was a selection procedure where you had to compete at various competitions, do certain totals, and Rebecca was the one that got the highest total. Zoe Smith was also in the running, but unfortunately she tore her rotator cuff in her shoulder at the British Champ, so she missed out as well.
That's such a mean injury as well.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal to be honest.
Oh.
She's on the men now. So.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, hopefully for the next Olympics we can get a few more places.
Yeah.
That's the aim.
So when does that start? When does the prep for that start?
So the qualifying will start in 2018.
Okay.
And then everyone will be preparing again for the Commonwealth Games in 2018 as well. So there's a bit of there's a year now where there's not anything particularly major.
Yeah.
I mean, there will be a World Championships next year, but I think it's a good chance for people to kind of rest when they need to rest, and kind of, just get themselves back into training and refocus really.
Okay, so this is kind of like the regroup stage.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. I mean, just with generally everyone has been focused towards the Olympics, trying to qualify and get that spot. And even if you haven't got that spot, you still need that time to rest and kind of just mentally recover and get focused again.
I suppose it's a good point to talk about. Like, what's your routine? How do you recover? How do you, like, you talked about peaking there as well. And some of our members, they'll kind of get that through our programming. They'll get that we try and peak around the open and we do that kind of stuff. And some of the top of of our comp team certainly do that. But some of the other athletes that just, I guess, turn up here just because they want to get a workout. And obviously there's a bit of a grading level. But for those that do the peaking and understand that kind of stuff, how do you mix that in? What do you find works best for you?
It can be quite tough, particularly if you've got competitions quite close together. So it's important to have a bit of a rest or a downtime immediately after the competition. That's what I tend to do. I have like a week, maybe where I train once, twice, just to keep moving, nothing too intense, and then I'll just gradually build back into it. But as I mentioned then, because the whole Olympic qualification has been quite hardcore, I'm kind of just enjoying a bit of downtime at the moment. I need it mentally more than anything.
Yeah.
I'm sure the CrossFit guys as well would agree that just mentally preparing for competition after competition, it can be quite draining.
Yeah.
So I think that's just as important as the physical side. In terms of my training program, I'd usually have an active rest week or a deload week, maybe every 4th week or so in my program,
Okay.
which is something I only really started doing within the last year, and I found it really, really helped in terms of recovery.
Okay. And why did you start? This is an interesting question. But basically, you do get a lot of people, especially within CrossFit, that like, oh yeah, I'll do an active recovery day, which basically means that they rather than maybe do box jumps or something.
Yeah.
Active recovery. Oh, I'll just do double unders.
Yeah.
But deload weeks are an interesting concept that I think a few people kind of latch onto. But some don't really get the principle of it, and as coaches we can say so much and do so much, and sometimes we're as guilty of not doing deloads as the members are. But what would your advice be to those kind of who've maybe thought about it or haven't done it yet, or reasons for doing it?
I'd say definitely factor it in somewhere, because you don't realise how hard you're training until you take a step back and have the deload week. So usually with me, I find that the deload week actually feels harder than my previous week's training.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a mental thing or it's just where everything's built up, but it's usually quite tough. But the following weeks, when you get back into the swing of it, you fully appreciate having that lighter week. I've done it before where I haven't done deload or active rest weeks, and I've just burnt out, and it's so easy to just get fatigued.
Yeah.
And you get to the point where you train so hard that you're actually forced to take a whole week off.
Yeah.
Because your
The
body
immune
just had
system
enough.
just shuts down,
Yeah.
or even you're just too fatigued to like get out of bed.
Yeah, exactly.
Do anything.
You don't want that, do you? It's
No.
not, having a whole week off isn't going to be great for the progress you want to make. So.
For sure. And it's kind of also not while you're training. You're training so that you are healthier, most of us anyway.
Yeah.
That you have a healthier outlook, and obviously you're taking it to the competitive side, which a bit different, but for like a Joe like myself, it's kind of like, I'm just doing this so I feel good and look good, or whatever I'm doing that for. So yeah, definitely taking a deload week. And for us, we have a split program, which is based in peak kind of situation. So for anyone listening in terms of how to manage a deload week, for us could certainly be, actually I'm going to focus more on base, go lighter, think about just moving, not actually lifting a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And it's definitely doable within a program to blend that, for sure. You don't, I mean, even though you're coming to you obviously have a specific training schedule for yourself, but for us that we have a broad training for a number of members, we can still play within that. So that's kind of a message I just wanted to tag on the end of that, because I think it's important for those listening that attend our gym to understand that there's ways of doing that within their program. Speak to their coach and develop that.
Yeah.
So I guess one thing I wanted to speak to you about, and this is a bit of a hot topic for me, and it's something that I wanted to write a blog on actually. This challenge, because I'm going to talk to you about being a female within a potentially something that weightlifting that's seen to be male, more masculine in terms of an audience perhaps. And I always think I'm incredibly proud of all the women we have training here, and how that they put their performance and health before kind of conventional aesthetics or what some people perceive as that. So I kind of wanted to get your take on that, and how you felt kind of competing with Olympic weightlifting, and what your thoughts around that are.
So if I'm honest, it was probably one of the things that crossed my mind when I first thought, do I want to do this as a sport? I mean, it was only introduced to the Olympics for females in 2000, which, if you think about it, wasn't that long ago.
No.
Really.
It feels like last week for me. Then I look back and I'm like, oh no, I'm just getting to that stage where actually
Only 16 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh yeah, 2000. Well, oh no, actually, it was a bit of time ago. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Unless it's 1990s, I think it's last week.
Yeah.
So when I meet someone that was born in the 90s, I start to freak out a little bit. How are you an
Sorry, I'm
adult?
not one of them. So it was a thought that did cross my mind. But then I realised that being strong is one of my talents really, and I knew that if I wanted to do well in something, a sport like that, then doing weightlifting was probably the best idea. And also there's something about kind of trying to break these stereotypes that's quite appealing as well. I mean, I do get it all the time, oh, you've got big muscles, what do you do, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm at a stage where I'm proud of what I do, and I'm it's given me that much confidence that I'd happily try and encourage other women and other people to get involved.
Sure.
Yeah, I think it's great that we have so many women doing CrossFit and weightlifting, and I really do think CrossFit has done wonders for weightlifting as a sport, like the number of participants and things like that, and fit women with muscles, it's all positive.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of all of that, and you see quite a lot of stuff in the media, and I mean female CrossFit athletes for one, what have done quite a huge, especially in America. I think it's starting to happen here more and more as CrossFit becomes bigger than in the States. I'm sure you went to the games and just see everyone kind of pretty ripped.
Yeah.
Like the whole audience, all the attendees, just all CrossFitters, and it was just amazing to see that kind of level of diversity in terms of who attended.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool that we have these role models now, some of these female role models in terms of like look at Brooke Dent being in films now as a result of her physique and the way she looks. She's playing an Amazonian in Wonder Woman, I think, something like that. Which just super cool that's happening now. So I'm a big fan of that, and think it's difficult for me as a coach sometimes to, when you talk to a new client and they're worried about that I don't want to get too, the typical thing I get is I don't want to be too bulky.
Yeah.
And I always find that quite a hard one to talk around, because as a guy we're kind of supposed to look like Thor from Avengers. So it's living up to that can be quite tough. But joking aside, I mean what I really kind of mean for that is that trying to convince someone that actually training for their health or to get the most out of their body or see what they can do, I think it's kind of a difficult one when we're so put into this box of like, no, you're supposed to look like this and you're supposed to look like this, and this is how the world works. And it's quite difficult to sometimes not convince but have that conversation, because it's like, no, you're a dude, you don't understand.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so I was really keen to get your thoughts on that and talk to you about it, just because I think you've probably got better outlook than anyone.
Yeah, I get the fact that some women don't want to be big and muscly, but do you know anyone that builds muscle overnight? It's not just like an instant thing.
I'm going to take a protein shake and do some lifting, and I'm going to be like stats.
Make some gains.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I think women are coming to realise that actually having a bit of muscle helps with fitness and looking fit and healthy, and actually muscle helps burn fat. So I think it's just a case of educating people, and I think doing things like CrossFit and weightlifting, people are realising that they're not going to just become some big massive woman. And I think some of the other countries that maybe I compete against, like Russia and Eastern European weightlifters, probably that's what they're seeing on the telly and things like that, and on social media, so they're thinking, I don't want to look like that. But that's not how it works. Like, if you look at all us GB girls, we're toned, okay, we have got a bit more muscle just because of the amount of training we do. But generally everyone looks pretty good for it, they look in shape.
Sure.
So I think it's just, people just need to be open-minded and give it a go, and just kind of, just have a look and see what everyone else is doing, and realise it's not as stereotypical as it may seem.
And I guess I know there are health benefits to it as well, and I think that's once you feel those benefits, like just everyday energy and things like that, you're just like, wow, actually I feel great.
Yeah.
And the weird one about the bulkiness is the fact that actually when you put some lean muscle mass on, you're probably going to be less bulky than you were before. Ironically, you are going to be smaller than you were before in terms of arm size and stuff like measurements, if you wanted to be that kind of person that measured it. So I appreciate you going through that. I still feel like it shouldn't be, but it is. It's still a bit of a touchy subject to kind of like bring up, like
probably always will be, to be honest. It's just one of those things. But I think
we all have insecurities, guys, as well. Like, we can never be big enough, girls can never be skinny enough, and that's just the way the world seems to be at the moment. If you look at Instagram, sometimes if you go into the wrong places, but
Instagram doesn't really help with that.
No, it doesn't always paint the picture of honesty, does it, and integrity. But I dig the fact that there's more and more girls that lift and CrossFit and Olympic lifting. So I just want to kind of bring that up, give you props as well for obviously being a Commonwealth lifter and just lifting and all that kind of stuff. It's amazing. No worries. Well, this brings me on to my next point. I went onto Instagram when we first met. I was like, okay, cool. I saw you checked in at Petra. Looked on your Instagram, and then saw one of your lifts that you did at the Commonwealth Games was 120 kilo clean jerk. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was at the British Champs.
British Champs. Yeah. Which I'm not going to lie, upset me a little bit because I don't have 100 kilo clean jerk yet, and I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive. And the fact that smashing that weight out. So, how long did it take you to build up to 120 kilos? Where did you start from? Just in case there are any of our members that are like, that's it's an impressive weight, especially for a CrossFit community. 120 kilos. If you're a lady, you kind of chucking that around. You're like, yeah, I'm up there in a CrossFit gym. So, how do you build up to that? What was the process?
Well, to be honest with you, it's taken 8 years to hit that kind of number.
Fair enough.
It has taken time, but I'd say, well, I started with a broomstick, and you really do have to get the technique right, nail the technique before you start pushing up the weight. There's no rush. I mean, everyone feels impatient to just stick it on the bar, but I cannot emphasise how much technique helps. You can have the strongest legs in the world, but if your technique is shabby, you're not getting that bar over your head.
Yeah. I'm also just going to comment, I love the use of shabby there. I haven't had that for a while. Sorry, Emily. Broke your flow there.
It's true though, I think it's quite a good word to use.
Yeah, absolutely. I just haven't heard it in a while. It brings me back to days in, just in out of Surrey where people used to use shabby quite a lot.
Quite good word.
Very good words.
I don't really know where it came from, but go with it.
Hashtag shabby, anyone watching.
So yeah, I've kind of developed my technique gradually. I've always had reasonable technique, and I actually changed coach about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
And my coach now uses a bit of a different method to training, and he's more focused on building strength. And so where I had all right technique and I built my leg strength as well, I found my clean and jerk numbers did gradually increase.
Yeah.
So maybe my snatch hasn't seen so much progress, but my clean and jerk definitely has. And it's just lots of reps, lots of squatting, front squat, back squat, and doing a few complexes in the gym with my cleans as well. So the one that I found has really helped me is clean front squat jerks.
Yeah.
Just that endurance with my leg strength, and just pushing that on. I've noticed such a big difference with it. But yeah, it was really nice to actually stick 2 reds on the bar and get 120.
Yeah.
I was really chuffed with that.
Okay, it looks effortless as well. Like people say that to me when you lift, and you kind of feel like, yeah, okay, you're saying that to be nice, but it looks so smooth that you just like you wouldn't have told. If I said to someone, "What's that weight?" and they didn't know the colours were, I don't know, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, it's 120." Just make it look so smooth.
Thank you.
So it's more than welcome. It's credit where credit's due. But yeah, it's phenomenal in terms of looking at the output, and like you say, it takes time, and it is really reps, isn't it? You just got to put the work in terms of technique and getting that weight up and developing we talk about it here as a base, but building that base of lifts, of front squat, and getting that clean, doing time and doing reps.
One thing I've noticed as well is minimising the number of failures you have in the gym. So I used to stick weight on the bar. If I missed it, I'd go for it again and again and again. Probably have like 6 misses. I'd get really annoyed and like storm out the gym, have a cry, standard. But in the last year or so, I've really made an effort to miss as fewer lifts as possible. That makes sense. So if I was to miss a lift, maybe maximum twice, drop the weight down, do one last set at a lighter weight, get that consistency, and then finish, move on, exercises. I found that really has made a difference because you're just practicing failure if you keep missing and missing and missing. And just
you ingrain that, in the brain, the negativity of missing that, but also ingrain the movement pattern that's getting the result. Yeah.
So I think I'd say to anyone, like CrossFit, weightlifting, just anyone at all, minimise the number of missed lifts that you have, and just drop the weight down. Do a weight where you can just do lift after lift after lift. Make sure you always finish on a good one, even if it's 40 kilos, something really light.
Yeah, you can just nail it.
Yeah.
It feels good. I almost liken it to badly, I'll admit, played a bit of golf in my time, and when you hit a sweet drive, it's kind of the same feeling when you hit it really clean or really beautiful snatch. It's just like boom, sits in the right place, get it right for the hips. It's you kind of know when it's a good one. I kind of bring it back to our programming, just as a relevancy thing for some of the members that are probably going to listen to this. We have what we call practice days. Actually, today is a practice day right here at the top, and that we try and enforce that it's a bit, not enforce, but recommend that the members look at sacrificing weight or speed for technique. And I think that's a good point, that actually if you go up a bit heavy and you didn't hit that lift, if you're doing clean and jerk or something, dropping it back down and just trying to hit a few reps and make sure that you get them feeling good is probably a top tip. I was going to ask for top tips, but we've already covered one off the list. Done.
Yeah.
We'll come back to the top tips in a bit.
Consistency is key.
Consistency is key.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of that as well. It's something that helped me. Actually, our coach Mario, who does a lot of our lifting and runs our bodylifting classes. Yeah. He, I remember when I first started doing CrossFit and coaching and all that kind of stuff. He was like, dude, you just got to go light and hit reps. And I was that, I've always been fairly strong. Just be like, rip it off the floor, rip, to the point where. I don't know why I keep bringing this up, we're going to anyway, give you the story. So, Pricey, the owner of this gym, calls me Terry. Right. It came up in the last podcast because he was on it. And it came from a nickname. He affectionately called me Terry Too Much because I would just put too much on the board, grip and rip, and just hope that it, clang and bang, whatever you want to say, I was that guy, just like, give me a barbell, I'm just going to try and rip it off the floor. With little success most of the time. And I just went back to kind of, Mary gave us some great advice, just find a way, you can hit it, consistency is king, that kind of thing, and I just 40 kilos, right, I'm just going to do 100 reps this week at that and just try and make every single one clean, and 50, 60, until you kind of get to a number where it gets tricky and then you're like, right, this is my number for a while, and you kind of stick to that. So I'll echo that and with some my own experience. So if you're listening out there and you're a grip and rip guy or girl, slow down, put some less weight on the bar, practice technique, it will mean your lifts go up eventually.
Yeah, you've just got to be patient and just put the work in.
Yeah.
And it will pay off. You're better off doing a session where you drop the weight down, get a few reps in, than sticking the weight on and getting so frustrated that you just want to walk out.
Yeah.
Because I've done it all. I've had sessions where I've just had to stop because I'm so frustrated, so tense. It's counterintuitive, and you're better off just taking a step back, dropping it down, getting the reps in, getting the technique right, and just finishing the positive.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do have to learn yourself, like you learn the hard way. And after 8 years, I'm finally learning what's the best way to deal with things. But
you learn more about yourself as well over time, don't you? About like how you best respond to certain training techniques and how you best develop and things like that. It's almost doing this kind of training is almost learning an adventure about learning as much about yourself as it is learning new techniques and kind of new ways of doing things.
Yeah, and I think it's also important to have the right people around you.
Yeah.
So here it seems like you've got a really good lifting community with all of you CrossFit guys, like you all seem like you train really well together. And it's the same with weightlifting. I've got a really good club at Europa, and we have Super Saturdays, which is like our Saturday morning sessions. Everyone's there. Awesome. It's only a small gym, but it's really busy. Everyone's just cracking on with the lifting, and there's just a really great atmosphere.
Yeah, helps, isn't it, when you kind of got that
really does.
atmosphere.
So everyone's just putting the grind in and struggling together. It just makes for a good training session, good atmosphere.
For sure, and it's one of those things. Coach Ozzy, before he left, talked about it in one of his blogs. He mentioned that the energy you put into a community is kind of what you get out as well. So it takes everyone kind of putting that energy in, doesn't it, to kind of get it out.
Does.
And kind of heightens everything.
Yeah, and it definitely has a positive effect on everyone.
Yeah. So we talked a bit about, we mentioned CrossFit and weightlifting. You came down, we met, you came down, and I actually jumped in on competing training session when we did a WOD together. How did you find the WOD? Have you been WODing since? Like,
it was a struggle.
Yeah.
I've got no lungs whatsoever. Like, I could do the lifting part, but the rest.
You smashed through that.
Oh dear. Yeah, but the rest, even rowing, I was on the plane train.
Yeah. How did you find like stuff like lactic build-up and things like that? Did you get much of that doing Olympic weightlifting?
You do with some exercises, but when you're training consistently, you don't really get that very much. Like, you just build up this endurance, and it's a totally different level of fitness.
Yeah.
Like, you can stick 110 on the bar, and I'll do 10 reps back squat. But as soon as you make me do reps and like cardio-based stuff, I will die.
Yeah.
It's
not
so
your jam.
weird. Yeah. Well, I enjoyed it. Like, I really did feel good for it after.
Yeah.
I haven't really had much of an opportunity to do many more. I've done a couple since I came down here.
I'm sure the Saturday you come down to it, we'll try and get you into a WOD at some stage if you can.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely up for that.
Keen for that?
Up for that, yeah.
That's good. It's good to hear. I know Mike's keen to do more training and stuff around that, so we'll try and get you into a cheeky workout with us. You're kind of into CrossFit. Do you ever watch any of the sport of it or anything like that?
I have watched a bit of it actually, and I appreciate Instagram because it gives me a bit more of a insight.
Instagram's great for that, isn't it? You just
really
just get the highlights.
Yeah, and also like follow some of the top CrossFitters and see what they're up to.
Who's your favourite? Put you on the spot a little bit with that, I'm afraid.
I quite like Camille.
LeBlanc Bazanet.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, she's
got no surname. But yeah, no, she's really cool. I follow her on Instagram and see what her workouts. I quite like the fact she's not absolutely shredded.
Yeah.
Like, she has got like lean muscle and everything, but she just looks like a normal girl off the street, and she's just unbelievably fit and
good at lifting, good gymnastics.
Really
And then I mean, you've got some incredibly. Everyone seems to be getting lean. 2016 was the year of lean for CrossFit athletes. Like, everyone seemed to get leaner, especially the girl who won it, Katrin Devon's daughter.
Yeah.
She came out looking absolutely shredded at regionals, and then even more so at the games. So I think everyone's really placing high importance on nutrition. That's something I want to talk to you about as well. Like, what do you do around nutrition? How are you finding kind of food and things like that to support training?
Yeah, so we have a nutritionist that helps us, like on the GB team, he supports us and helps us write like a good plan before competition. So weightlifting is in weight categories, so you have to make sure you're making the most out of that weight category. So before I was sitting at around 66 kilos, so it made sense to me to drop down 63 kilos, and I was in the 63 kilo class for seven-ish years, and as I was training harder and I was, getting stronger, that ultimately meant I was putting on muscle mass, and so it was becoming harder and harder to make weight, to the point where I'd diet, and then even the last 3 days before competition, I was sitting in the sauna, dehydrating, like taking tablets to help water retention, things like that. Like, it became such a struggle, and it kind of transferred across into my lifting when I was on the platform, that I just kind of didn't have a lot of energy, and was struggling a little bit with my lift. So I made the decision to move up weight class to the 69 kilo class, and it means that I can eat more calories, not have to stress too much about the diet, and I think it is really more mentally. It was tough, like the stress levels through the roof, because you're worrying that you're not going to make weight. You're not actually thinking about your actual lifts and the competition itself. You're just totally obsessed with what you weigh each morning and things like that. So
that's challenging as well. I mean, I've been quite into MMA for a while, so I've watched quite a lot of MMA content, and there's a big amount of weight cutting in there. And, so that's my only real comparison for it. And I spoke to Alexis, who used to fight competitively in Muay Thai. So and it just seems such a. They do it in wrestling. It's like whenever there's weight categories. I mean, that's one of the things. Yeah, it's grueling.
It's intense. It's like a competition itself.
Yeah, who's best at cutting weight almost like gives them an advantage before you even start the competition.
Yeah, and also like you'd make the weight and you'd feel like the relief factor from making weight.
Yeah.
And because it's such a build up, and then you think, oh, now I've got to go and lift.
Yeah.
And you don't want it to be like that. You just want to focus on your lifting, be as strong as you can.
So how long do you have between weight cut to actually lifting?
2 hours.
2 hours?
Well, actually 1 hour from the end of the weigh-in.
Wow.
And then you're in the warm-up area.
That's mad.
Yeah.
And again, I'll use my draw from the info I know. MMA, they do it the night before.
Yeah.
So at least like UFC or whatever the competition
Time
is.
to recover.
Yeah, you get to, rehydrate, eat some stuff, put the weight back on.
Yeah.
But that's tough. 2 hours or an hour.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about preparation really. As long as you start your diet early enough and you're well prepared, you can make it as easy or as hard for yourself as possible.
How do you rehydrate like that quickly, or do you not? Do you just have to go in a bit dehydrated to the competition?
I've tried all sorts. I usually always have some kind of electrolyte drink, so Powerade for instance. I put a little bit of salt in my Powerades before, I put creatine in my Powerades before, Diarrhea, everything, just salts, try and get the salts, because if you've been sitting in the sauna for hours,
it's all gone.
you are so dehydrated that you need just anything to get those salts back, and you don't want to cramp up on the platform either. So
something else I didn't really think about.
Yeah, it can be pretty tough, and at that point you're like fluid over food, you just want anything to drink. But like I said before, you're still learning. Like I've learned so much over the years of doing it.
Yeah.
And I've had to be more and more disciplined. And I know I could get down to 63 if I wanted to, but I'm now at a point where I'm like, actually, is it helping my performance? Which is why for my last competition I moved up, and now I've got to make the most out of this new weight category. And I've actually probably got to try and bulk up a little bit.
More food. More isn't
food,
that a lifter's kind of dream? Like certainly a CrossFitter's dream. Like I get to eat more. Amazing.
Exactly, but the right stuff, of course.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but with that, there's an expectation now that I have to now get stronger because it is that much harder when you move up the weight class. So, which is quite cool. Now I've got some downtime, I can really, focus on my diet and get back into training and try and make some strength gains. Really. Nice.
And is that just for strength gains, more squatting for you, just more reps again, or do you do any dare I say it, kind of bodybuilding styles, strength or strongman kind of strength training?
A bit of everything really. It'll be more squats, to be honest with you, because they're so important for weightlifting. Everything comes from your legs and your back and stuff like that. So I'm quite keen to have a bit of time where I'm not following an exact program, because the programs that my coach gives me are intense and they are grueling. You were putting in the hard work, you were in the gym feeling absolutely exhausted, but you just got to crack on and get it done. And where I was doing that for a good year, trained so hard that I now just really want kind of that mental break where I'm going in the gym and doing things for fun, and I'm squatting the number of reps I want to squat, and I'm just kind of getting back into it and
it's enjoyable.
enjoying myself.
Because if it's not enjoyable, I was listening to actually a podcast yesterday with Joe Rogan. I'm a big Joe Rogan fan. I've mentioned it a couple times in this podcast, but he had an MMA fighter on there talking about wrestling and how grueling wrestling is, especially for kids. And he was just talking about how you got to make it fun, because otherwise you just lose interest. And it's something that you sometimes think of a bit. We even get caught up in it. I'm a fun athlete. I do CrossFit for fun. And sometimes you catch yourself like the open season or like a friendly competition, you start taking things a bit too seriously. So even yourself that is a serious athlete, having to make sure things are fun, I think that's a good message for us all to kind of sometimes take on board. Are you enjoying this? Because if you're not, then especially if you're doing this for fun, why are you doing it? Or why are you doing your training in this particular way? I think trying to make it fun is always the important thing.
There's a fine line really, isn't there? Because you have this expectation of yourself and the pressure you put on yourself. I mean, I personally feel like I need to relax a bit more when it comes to international competitions. Because it's the highest level I'm reaching. I'm trying harder, so I really want to achieve on that world or European stage. And
put a lot of pressure on yourself to do so.
And sometimes that really has a bad impact on my performance. So, but like I said, I'm learning how to deal with that, and I think in the coming years, I'm hoping to see a big improvement in that. And I just think, sometimes you have got to just take a step back and have a bit of fun. I mean, it's difficult as well because I get funded by UK Sport to do weightlifting, so there is a certain level of expectation from them and from the governing body, British Weightlifting, because we're almost employed. I mean, it's a bit of a weird one, but there's certain things we have to do, like I have to travel up to Loughborough quite a lot for training camps and things like that. So it is almost like a second job.
Yeah.
And because you want to do so well as well, it's quite easy to get stressed with it. And I find sometimes weightlifting can be more stressful than my actual job. So it's a bit crazy, but you do just kind of have to walk away and you know, tomorrow's a new day kind of thing, and just talk to people around you and have basically a good network, speak to your coach, other people, other CrossFitters, just like that's why I like coming here as well. It's different to weightlifting. It's something new, you know, it's just totally different sport in some senses, and you know, it's
you
just
can relax a little bit more. You don't.
There's no pressure.
Yeah, you're just like, I'm just going to go and have fun, do some lifting, kind of. Yeah.
Exactly, and that's why I'm keen to come down here a little bit more often. You know, just not have that focus on just lifting.
Yeah.
Just try other things and get stuck in with you guys and
awesome.
make new friends. It's all good.
Yeah, for sure. It's all about making new friends at the same time. But yeah, like always welcome down here to come lift with us for sure. So I don't want to keep you for too long. Thank you very much for coming down and speaking to us. Towards the end of every podcast, I like to kind of do a little bit more of a chilled out kind of chat. So I normally just kind of talk about what's going on outside, or ask for what people like to eat, or like what they're watching on TV, so those kind of things. So favourite cheap food has got to be, it's just like my standard question.
Lint balls.
Lint balls? What are lint balls? I've never even heard
You
of
know
this.
lint chocolate?
Oh, lint, yeah.
The little balls.
Yeah.
In the wrappers.
Yes, I know exactly
They
what you
are
mean.
number one.
They're number one.
Number one, yeah.
On Emily's number one cheap food, that. So
Yeah.
on Saturday the 24th, if you want to get in Emily's good books early, lint chocolate balls apparently are the way forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number one.
Any favourite TV show at the moment to binge watch?
I've just finished Game of Thrones.
Okay, what the
which is
latest
a bit of
season?
A popular one. Yeah, we literally, me and my boyfriend literally just watched all 6 seasons. Pretty
Nice.
much within probably about 4 weeks.
Good work.
Which
I
is
mean,
a bit bad, but
not at all. Binge watching is like the new thing, right?
yeah.
Anyone that knows me knows that I binge watch. I can binge watch a season pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I'm quite good at absorbing content. So that's all fairly standard for me. But Game of Thrones is a pretty good one. I think that's up there. Do you like it?
Yeah, I
Fan?
really like it.
Yeah.
I can't believe we have to wait so long for the next one though.
I know. And there's only 7 episodes. We
Oh,
get less,
man.
and then the 8th season, the rumours are that it's going to be only 6 episodes. So there's been quite a lot of Game of Thrones chat in this podcast. Actually, this is the third podcast that Game of Thrones has come up in. Yeah, so
That's weird.
hot topic. Well, it's that good. I think that everyone watches it. Favourite character in Game of Thrones?
What is his name?
Describe him.
Dwarf.
Tyrion Lannister.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, he's
Like
a bit
him.
of a badass, isn't he?
Yeah,
for
he's cool.
an imp, he's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And Peter Dinklage, the guy who plays him, is a pretty fine actor
He's
as well.
an awesome actor.
Yeah,
Really
it's
good.
it's nice. I remember him being in kind of indie films and stuff and building his career. It's pretty awesome for him. He's in such a high profile show as well.
He's definitely my favourite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm quite a big fan of him. I asked the question. I don't think I've got a favourite in
No?
Game of Thrones. He'd be up there for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely be up there. In terms of what else was I going to ask? This is where my mind goes blank and I have a question and I completely forget what I was going to ask. So what's next in terms of weightlifting? Just what should people look out for if they're going to stalk you on Instagram?
So I'll be focused on European Championships next April.
Cool.
So I've got a bit of time. But like I said, I'm going to use that time wisely. And you know, I feel like if I have a good focus leading up to that, then hopefully I'll do pretty well. I mean, it is the year after the Olympics as well, so some people might not turn up, some people might. It could be a quiet year, who knows, but I really want to push for a medal on the European stage, so that's really the next main aim.
Cool. Well, we'll be there rooting for you, especially once you come down on the 24th. Everyone will get to know you. We'll make sure there's people en masse supporting you for that.
That's good.
So yeah, thank you very much for your time. It's a bit of a weird one to come down to across the box and not actually train and talk to someone for an hour or thereabouts about kind of your specialist subject. Thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure kind of having you on and talking through those topics. I look forward to the 24th. I'm actually attending, so you get to deal with the grip and rip. That is terribly too much. And hopefully you can give me some skills. Well, thank you very much. How do you want to end this? Normally it's a high five, fist bump, something like that. I'll let you choose.
High five.
High five.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Emily.